Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ram and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to change the color of your leather steering wheel. Now please make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video where I discuss all the pros and cons with color changing. In this case we were working on a Royce Silver Shadow II where we refreshed the original green color on the seats, but the owner felt the black steering wheel didn't look that great and asked if we could change it to green. After explaining the pros and cons, this is how we change the color. Now as always, cleaning, degreasing and getting the prep right is crucial. So we started by cleaning the entire steering wheel using the Colourlock mild leather cleaner and a brush. We then degreased using the Solvent Cleaner. Now the Solvent Cleaner is a surface degreaser, but with this being a steering wheel, we wanted to make sure we removed all penetrated grease too. And for this, we used the Colourlock grease absorber paste. Now the paste was applied using a sponge and allowed to dry on its own. Now, as it dries, it turns into a white powder, except areas with grease where it dries into a yellowish powder. The powder can be easily vacuumed off. We repeated this step a couple of times to make sure there was no grease left on the surface, and finally we wiped down all the residue with Solvent Cleaner again to get a dust-free surface. With the prep work done, we were now onto the finishing stage, and step one of the finishing stage was to spray a thin layer of primer, which is an adhesion promoter. Once that was done, we then moved on to the painting stage. The green colour provided good coverage, so there was no need for us to spray white as a base coat. We sprayed thin, even layers and dried each layer using a heat gun. Finally, we sprayed 2 good layers of our clear coat mix of matte and gloss to achieve the desired level of shine. Now before we go, it's important to understand the pros and cons of color changing. So let's start with the positives. One main positive is that it allows you to customize your seats, but the biggest plus has to be that it's substantially cheaper than a full retrim. Now it's cheaper for a reason, so let's look at some of the downsides, which will also give you an idea as to when color changing makes sense. Now when we change color, we spray the paint, and with certain seats it is impossible to spray the corners and the folds, so the original color may always be visible to a certain extent depending on what you're trying to do. Color changing might require spraying multiple layers of the new paint. This can make the leather feel a little plastic-like, so the touch and feel of the surface may not be the best. It also depends from what color to which color you're trying to go, and in most cases spraying a thin layer of white paint as a base coat helps. But all in all, knowing how the surface reacts to the paint is crucial before going any further. Also, as the seats get used and eventually they get scuffed, the original color underneath might show through, so it will require a lot of upkeep. For these reasons, I personally am not a huge fan of color changing, but there are instances where it can be very useful, like if you have a damaged armrest and you can't find a replacement in the exact same color. There you have it, guys. With that, the job was completed, but as I said at the start of the video, make sure you take into consideration all the pros and cons involved in color changing. I'm keen to hear what you guys think, so give us a like if you enjoyed watching, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content. But until then, I'll catch you all in the next one.